Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Taylor and I'm so happy that you're here. Today's video is going to be all about Instagram versus reality. I wrote a really funny blog post a while ago about, I think it was called Instagram, I love you, but I won't break up with you. And it was basically just about how Instagram is a massive pain in the ass. You know, you've heard it from everyone. And how I actually love it though, because I've met so many cool people from it. But the point of today's video is going to be inspired by Brooke Seward. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she's the amazing person behind World of Wanderlust, who's been a big travel blogger for quite some time. She's one of my favorite people to follow. She's so nice. She answers your DMs. I almost met up with her in London. She's great. So I love how real she is, and she recently posted a YouTube video talking about the reality behind some of the Instagram shots that she posted. And while mine won't be on the same realm of things, because I feel like I already talk a lot about my personal life and my captions, it'll be delving into how I was feeling when that photo was being taken, if there was anything going on in my life at the moment, things like that. So I'm just gonna scroll because I have specific photos I want to share with you. Oh, I've scrolled too far now. Okay. So, I'm sure you love my singing. We're almost there. Okay, we're there. All right, number one comes from April of 2017 when I was in San Francisco. As you know, if you follow me on Instagram, which I'll pop down my handle right here, I'm obsessed with murals. I'm very basic and I like to stand in front of them. I'm not much of a poser, in the literal sense of the word. I cannot pose for photos. So standing in front of a wall makes things really easy. So this photo was in April of 2017. I was in San Francisco having a wonderful time with my friend Hannah, and all of a sudden I found myself in a situation where I literally couldn't stand up. I was so dizzy all day. I felt so nauseous and I could not figure out for the life of me what it was. And of course that was the day that we were going to find all the street art in San Francisco in the Mission District. So basically, snapped this baby. And then the next morning, I ended up in the hospital. It was my first bout of very bad vertigo. I distinctly remember waking up. Hannah had gone to Starbucks to get a coffee, and I woke up, I got up to go use the bathroom, and I fell down. And that was my morning for the next 2.5 hours while I contemplated calling an ambulance. I called the ambulance, I called Hannah. Hannah had to call the lobby downstairs. It was the day before my first press trip ever. In Lake Tahoe, where we were going to be driving cars. So we were supposed to go get the car that day, actually. And I just remember the EMT coming in and being like, I'm sorry, but I have to ask, have you been taking any acid? And I was just like, I had half a glass of wine at dinner last night. Oh my God, it was miserable. But yeah, that was I'm pretty sure right after I took that photo, I went and I laid on a couch in a lobby of a hotel because we were changing hotels that day and we couldn't check into our next one. This one is a little more fun. I'm sure you've seen the Museum of Ice Cream all over everybody's photos. I mean, this is from May 2017. That was at the Museum of Ice Cream in LA. I've since been to the Museum of Ice Cream in Miami as well, and I wish that they would bring one to London. But besides the point, basically, you get 2 minutes to take photos in this pit where there are children and people screaming, throwing little tiny sprinkles everywhere. And thankfully Hannah was a saint and let me get my photo because I don't really think she ended up with one. So thank you, Hannah. I'll remember that forever. After the fact, when you leave and you go to the bathroom, this is too much information, but I don't really care. And you go to use the bathroom, you pull your pants down, you're gonna have sprinkles coming everywhere. So it's not the greatest, and I don't think it's the cleanest thing ever either. So this was my quest to get a perfect drone shot. I met a guy on Instagram, literally when I lived in Florida. I went through Delray Beach hashtags to find someone who had a drone. And I contacted this guy, Ryan, and he was amazing, and he met me. And basically we would do different drone shoots, and I would help him out with shots and he would help me out with shots. So this day he was like, I really want to get a shot of you on a surfboard. And the waves were insane. And he was like, have you ever been on a surfboard before? I was like, not really. I've been on a paddle board on flat water. Is that the same thing? And he was like, no. So I get on and I paddle out, and all of a sudden I just get smacked in the face with this giant wave, like cracked in the face. I had to like struggle to go get the surfboard, climb back up, and just wait for that perfect shot. And it is a perfect shot. Like, the lighting is incredible. So it worked out, but would I do it again? I don't think so. All right, we are in Taiwan now. So this was Taiwan. I went to Taiwan back in October of 2017. That seems so long ago now. That's crazy. And basically that Elephant Mountain was the place for sunset, and it was. But I get really bad altitude sickness, and I rushed up there to get a good spot because I was running a little bit late. And I got to the top. I set up my GoPro for a time lapse. I was ready to go, and all of a sudden I got so dizzy, and these were like all the symptoms that brought on my bout of vertigo that made me end up in the hospital. And I was like, you're in Asia, you are not going to the hospital here. Sit down right now. So I grab all my stuff, I forfeit my amazing spot for sunset. I go and sit down on a bench, I put my head between my legs and start taking deep breaths. I almost passed out, and not one person asked me if I was okay. I was having a miserable time in Taiwan, basically. I was by myself basically for 14 days. There was another influencer there at the same time as me, and he was given a completely different itinerary. We only met up for 3 days out of the entire time. So I was by myself in a country where there's not a ton of Westerners traveling there at that time. I think that in the last few years, Taiwan has really become a bigger destination for people. And I just remember being like, oh my God, I want to go home. I called my mom. I spent the next day in bed the whole day. So I was just like, I hate this and I want to leave. But when I look back on it now, like, I had a great time in Taiwan. The food in Taiwan is bomb. So definitely go there if you're a foodie. This was one of those really fun, like, silly shoots that I used to do. Basically, my friend Chris in Delray is a really good videographer and photographer. You should actually check out his drone stuff. I will leave his thing right here. His drone stuff's incredible. But we were basically just screwing around with these like smoke bombs on the beach, and the wind was blowing directly in my face. I almost lit my hand on fire. It was a mess, but it was so much fun, and the finished result was great. We've got another basic bitch style shot in front of a mural. So I'll be going over this in a video coming soon about I'm gonna basically just go over my year in London. I had the worst first few months here. It was a really big struggle for me adjusting, and I hated it. And I would still go out and take photos all the time and smile through it, but I hated it and I wanted to leave. I would call my mom and complain. I'm pretty sure I complained on my Insta stories all the time. But thankfully I toughed it out, and now I don't think I will ever leave. This is one of my favorite photos, and it is also extraordinarily edited because I stood there for what seemed like an hour, and it was not an hour, but it seemed like an hour. And I still had people coming and standing directly next to me. There wasn't even that crowded, but people just wanted to stand directly next to me. And obviously you're at a public place in the middle of the day, you're gonna have a hard time taking a photo with no one in it. So I just edited everyone out of it. And it took me 2 hours to edit people out of it. And I don't know why I did it, because as I've said in a photo before, people go places, they're there. This one's a funny one. I don't have this on my list, but this is like my most liked photo ever. And it's because it's the most beautiful location I've probably ever taken photos at. But I was basically like doing like a model strut to a bunch of tourists watching me, because you have like no time to take photos there. And I knew from other people that had gone there, they were like, stand next to the window, because when he opens the window, that's your moment to get your shot. So 3 of us, because I was there with my 2 best friends from college, 3 of us got amazing photos there. Talk about do it for the gram. So my boyfriend and I went to Florence back in October, and I have always wanted to do a Fiat 500 tour of the Chianti countryside, and we were able to do it, and it was such a great experience. So thank you for setting that up, My Tours. And Jake drove the entire time because I don't drive stick. And then I was like, but I want to make it look like I drove. So I got in the passenger seat, pulled off on the side of the road at the most scenic drop-off ever, and snapped a photo. Doing it for the gram. Shot. I've just posted this on my Instagram. Funny story. Okay, as you know, Instagram has brought many people with cameras to many locations around the world. And speaking as an Instagrammer, I know how disrespectful we can be. You try really hard not to be, but sometimes you just don't even think that there are rules. So this is taken at Daunt Books in London, and while you are allowed to take photos with your cell phone, if you want to take photos with your actual camera, you need to get permission. We were not given permission, and we were kicked out shortly after that photo was taken. At no fault to the shop owner, because we should have had permission. He said that we were disrupting his business, which I'm not going to sit here and say that we weren't. I was taking up the whole back of the store, so it is what it is. And then last but not least, which is another one. You can't even see me in this picture. I'm right there because I'm so bundled up because I was complaining of frostbite. I took this 2 weeks ago. It's January right now. Probably the coldest day that we've had in London so far, and I was wearing sneakers with very thin socks, and I was miserable, and I, as you know, am the mural queen, and I still had no desire to stand there and take photos because I thought that my toes were gonna fall off, and I was being an asshole about it. So that's all I have for you. I would love it if you could stick one of your photos, just put the URL in there, with a little comment about your Instagram versus reality moment. I would love to check them out. I'm always looking for new people to follow along on, and I love the realness, so definitely do that. And if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna be bringing you a weekly video, so stay tuned for some more stuff over here. Also, thumbs up if you enjoyed it. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.